This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen. So we're moving to merchandising companies. As you remember, initially we just had the service company. We rented cars and we got cash with when we had sales, we debited cash and credited sales. But when we get to a company that sells inventory, it changes. And there are three entries that have to be made. First of all, we have to make the entry to purchase the inventory. And as always, we debit inventory and a credit accounts payable. That's always the entry, it never changes. When we sell the inventory, there are two entries that have to be made. The first one is we debit cash, our account receivable and credit sales for the sales. But then because we've sold the inventory, we have to debit cost of goods sold and credit inventory so we can take those items out of inventory. Are there any questions on those journal entries? So these are the only journal entries that we're going to be seeing for the next day or so, today and on Tuesday. Just the journal entries to buy inventory and sell it. One journal entry to buy it, two to sell it. And this, and with this last one, we're removing the items out of inventory. So you don't want to go and, go try to buy something that's already been sold. So this entry gets it out of the inventory. Uh, so we're reflecting what's left in inventory. Let's look at our new income statement that we'll be preparing that we talked about last time. Sales less sales returns and allowances gives us the net sale. Less the cost of goods sold now, uh, which we will have a T account now, cost of goods sold, where this number will come from. It'll come on the trial balance and it'll be in the closing entries with closing entry two. Closing entry two. Now, sales returns and allowances, Jessica, as we talked, I think you emailed me about, they are part of closing entry one. So if we were closing out what we have here now in closing entry one, we would debit sales for 1 million. We'd credit sales returns and allowances for 100,000, and we would credit income summary for 900,000. You see that, Jessica?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then in closing entry two, it would be this 350 in regular expenses that will be credited as well as cost of goods sold. And so the debit to income summary in closing entry two would be how much? What would the debit to closing entry two be? 300 cost of goods sold plus 350 those other expenses. The debit to income summary would be 650. Now tell me closing entry three. What's closing entry three?
The net income 250.
Yes, net income is 250. What's the closing entry? We would debit income summary for 250, credit retained earnings for 250. Debit income summary for 250, credit retained earnings for 250. So just think about that. Now on the spreadsheet, you see it more, but you should be able to begin to look at it abstractly and say, okay, these are how these closing entries are going to look. Okay. this thing going? We looked at the example yesterday where we sold one pair of shoes. The shoes cost 20, the selling price was 50. The first entry we made as we work on column one was to buy the shoes. We debited inventory and credited accounts payable for 20. Then when we sold the shoes, we made two entries. We debited, let's just say we debited cash for 50, credited sales for 50, but we also debited cost of goods sold for 20 and credited inventory for 20. So two entries on the sale. And then the way the income statement looks at this point in terms is all we're looking at this point through Tuesday is just sales less cost of goods sold gives us gross profit. 50 less 20 gives us 30. Does everybody understand this? Are there any questions? Star?
Yeah, I kind of understand.
You kind of understand.
Hmm. But it's not going to look like this. That's why, right?
Kind of. What are you
Mm.
eating? So,
A
all
snack.
right. So I want you all to work on situation two now. It's going to look kind of like this. So if you sold two pairs of shoes, I want all of y'all to go through the scenario of buying two pairs of shoes and then selling two pairs of shoes and completing the income to get the gross profit. So I'm going to give you all about 3 minutes to go through if you sold two pairs of shoes. Can you all handle selling two pairs of shoes that cost 20 and the selling price is 50? Can you all handle that? Stalwart and Hari, can y'all handle that? Can y'all sell two pairs of shoes? How many pairs of shoes do you all own? You have more than two pairs of shoes. I'm turning around now. I'm saying you are selling shoes now. So instead of buying shoes, you sell them. So I want you all to go through and see, we'll do all of these again. But go and sell those two pairs of shoes. So I'll give you all about 5 minutes to go and sell two pairs of shoes. Well, Starworth, how much money did you make when you sold 2 pairs of shoes?
I don't know. Can you help me?
You can't sell 2 pairs of shoes?
What do you mean? How much money did I make?
Yeah. You sold 2 pairs of shoes. The shoes cost you $50, $20, and you sold them for 50. You can't sell 2 pairs of shoes. You'll
Made
make
a
good
hundred
money.
dollars. I made $100.
All right, you made $100.
Yep.
But you did buy those shoes, remember? So how much did the shoes cost you? How
Twenty
much did
dollars.
it each?
Mhm.
Are we working on this? So we bought the shoes and they were 40.
Mhm. So what you asked me? What's my profit? $60.
Okay. So and you said you sold them too, so you got 100 when you sold them.
Mhm.
And but your cost was what?
$40.
Cost $40. So when we do all the gross profit, sales 100, cost of goods sold 40, you made $60.
Yep.
Can you do that on a quiz?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna see. All right, Harry, you take the next one. I want you to sell 5 pairs of shoes. So let's do the one selling 5 pairs of shoes. And then Harry, you take the lead on it. So you got 5 minutes to sell those 5 pairs of shoes and tell me how much money you made. Well, I guess Tiana, you are up since Harry left. Can you sell these 5 pairs of shoes, Tiana? Well, Jessica will let you sell the 5 pairs of shoes.
All right. So the inventory would be $100.
You got to buy them first. So we're going to debit inventory 100,
Accounts
credit
payable
payable 100. Okay.
and then
Then we
accounts receivable would be 250.
5 times 50 is 250.
And then the cost of goods sold would be 100.
Cost of goods sold is going to be 100. So we debit cost of goods sold 100, credit inventory 100. How much money did we make?
150.
We sold them for 250. They cost us 100. Gross
Gross
profit
profit
50. See that star?
Yeah, I see it.
Tiana, do you see that? I'm going to move Tiana back to the C student since she's not talking. Okay. I Stalworth, you take the lead on the next one where 10 pairs of shoes or so.
I'm at work, Professor. I can't unmute.
Oh, so, okay. At working. Well, you put those 10 pairs of shoes in the chat for me. Just go through and tell me sales, cost of goods sold, and gross profit on 10 pairs of shoes. You know how to go and put something in the chat, Tiana? Okay, so what did she put in the chat? Since I don't, if it's 10 pairs of shoes, what's the selling price, Stalwart? For shoe, what's the cost?
What's the
What's the
selling price
cost first? What's the cost?
of to buy 10 pair of shoes?
10 pairs.
$200.
Okay. And then if you sell them at 50, how much you gonna have?
500.
Okay. What's the cost of it gonna be?
500.
No
Or
cost.
200.
200. And therefore, how much money did you make?
$300.
500 sales, 300 costs. The gross profit is $200. One final scenario. Suppose we only sold 8 pairs of shoes. So we bought 10, but we only sold 8. So let's take 5 minutes and look at that. I guess we'll be back to Jessica on that one. So what do we have, Jessica? If we bought 10 but only sold 8.
So we're gonna have 200 inventory, debit and credit accounts payable 200.
Okay.
Then accounts receivable or cash is gonna be 400. Credit debit and then credit sales. And
So you
since we
see
only
that
sold
star
eight,
work that is only 400 because we only sold 8 pairs of shoes.
the cost of goods is going to be 160.
So
Inventory
since
one.
we only sold 8 pairs, we multiply 8 times 20, we have 160.
So the gross profit is going to be 240 with 5.
100 minus 160.
So the
What's
sales
up?
400 less the cost of goods is going to be 160, which gives me gross profit of 240. And we have 2 pairs of shoes,
And in inventory, we have what?
2 pairs left.
We have 2 at 20. Any questions? Let's see. I think this is reverse here. Cost of goods sold should have been 200, and the gross profit should have been 300. I was wondering how you could sell 8 and make more money than when you sold 10. But you see that, Jessica? We had these reversed. You see that, Star? The
Yeah, yeah,
cost.
that's what I had. I had 300 on mine.
Yeah, I may have just written it down wrong. But Star, do you see what happens when we don't sell all of the shoes?
Yeah,
We only put in the cost for the ones we sold, then we have some left in inventory.
yeah.
So hopefully everybody can handle this now. Everybody can handle this. All right, time to move to some sales where the costs are not always the same. Because when we buy things, the costs are not always the same. So we do the first one. Suppose we buy 10 pairs of shoes and we sell them all. But 5 of the shoes cost $20 and another 5 cost 25. Okay? 5 costs 20, 5 costs 25. So take 5 minutes and go through and tell me what's the gross profit now, given that 5 of the shoes cost 20 and another 5 cost 25. Well, how much money we making now? Five of them cost 100 and five cost five at 20 and five were at 25. How much money we making now? Starworth, how much money you made? Okay, so in this situation, we're going to have two inventory purchases. In the first inventory purchase, we bought five at 20, so that was 100. Second, we bought five at 25, so that was 125. If we sell all 10 pairs of shoes at 50, our selling price uh, to our cash and sales is still going to be 500. The cost of goods sold now is going to be it's going to be 100 plus 125. It's going to be what? 225. So on the income statement now, we have sales of 500, cost of goods sold of 225. So our gross profit would be 275. Any question? Do we see that one, Stalwart? Jessica, do you see that?
Yes, sir, I got it.
Okay. Stalwart, do you see that when your shoes cost different amounts? Well, continue to work on it. Tiana, continue to listen and work on it. Now, Jessica, suppose we sold 8 pairs of shoes.
My bad. I was using the restroom.
You said what? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I was using the restroom, so I missed the last one.
What did you miss?
The one we did where 5 pair of shoes cost $20 and 5 pairs cost 25.
You can't be taking restroom breaks now. All right. All right. When we buy the 5 at 20 is 100, then the 5 at 25 is 125.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to make two journal entries, one purchase for 100, another purchase for 125. So now when we sold the 5, the 10 at 500, cost goods sold has to be the 100 and the 125. So we have to add those together and we get 225. So the gross profit is 500 less 225 equals 275. And the 225 is simply what? The two purchases added together. Do you see that, Stalwart?
Yes.
Sure, you got it.
Okay, but we don't. Okay, but you're not. Can you scroll back up to the top? It doesn't say how much you're selling them for. Oh, never
Same.
mind, never mind. Wait, yeah, it doesn't say how much you're selling each one. Oh,
Look
they're
it up.
both the same.
It was selling for the same price. Don't worry about the. So we
Okay,
just to make it simpler, we just keeping the price the same. If
okay,
you're selling shoes, most times you're selling the same type of shoe. What they're gonna sell for the same price.
okay. I got it.
All right, good. Make your journal entries and determine the gross profit now. If we purchased 5 at 20, 5 at 25, but we only sold 8 pairs of shoes. Only sold 8 pairs of shoes. How much money did you make now? So same basic assumptions. Selling price 50, cost 20. But if you only sold 8 pairs of shoes, how much
How can
money
you
did
make
you make?
how can you make the same assumption if they're both different prices?
Say what?
Like, how do you know how do you know which sold three and which sold five?
Suppose you're at a grocery store and they bought 5 at 20, then they bought 5 at 25 later. Which ones they gonna sell first?
5 at 20.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're making this assumption, FIFO, first in, first out, that the first ones purchased are the first ones sold. So this is the assumption we're making. The first one's ends are the first one we're gonna sell. So can you handle that now, Stalwart?
Yes.
All right, tell me.
Oh wait, hold on. Hold on. Give me a second.
All right.
Okay. So
These
you
entries are gonna stay the same, right?
uh-huh.
So the purchases are the same.
Right. Made 500. Purchase. You purchased 225 worth of inventory. You sold them. Or I guess you were trying to sell them for 500.
Selling for 50
Right.
each.
50 each.
So how much did we get? $400, right?
400.
You only sold 50. How much you only sold 8?
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Only sold eight.
How much did they cost us?
225.
Yona? Okay. Okay, to get this cost of goods sold, we're gonna sell all of the 5 at 20.
Mhm.
Okay. So we're gonna have down here 5 at 20. That
Mhm.
equals what? 100.
Mhm.
Then we're gonna have 3 more we sold, but
At
they
25.
cost us what? That's correct.
So that's 75.
We're gonna add those numbers together. And so the cost of
175.
goods sold is 175. And so therefore, what's our gross profit gonna be? 400 sales. That's what? 175.
Mhm.
And so our gross profit in this case is gonna be what?
225.
I guess that's right, 225. Okay, so let's look at the scenario where we sold 3. So same thing. You got some at 50. Selling price is 50. You bought some at 25, some at 20, and some at 25. But you only sold 3. So what's it gonna look like now? So take about 5 minutes and tell me how much money you made.
It's the same price, 5 at 20 and 5 at 25.
Yep. So this
Oh,
stays the same. So that stays the same. How much money you gonna get now if you sell just 3 pairs of shoes, Stalwart? If you sell them for $50 each, how much money you gonna get? You sold 3.
150.
That's correct. What's the cost of the 150 gonna be? What is the cost of the 150 gonna be? Well, the cost of the 3.
Oh, $60.
That sounds good, Stalwart. You know, you're doing much better online now. So it's 3 at 20, 60. How much money did we make? 150 minus 60. How much money did we make? $90. Now, in this first case, when we look at the inventory, in this example, because the first one we sold them all no inventory, here we sold 8, and so we'd have 2 left at 25. So an inventory would be 2 at 25. But in this next scenario, where we only sold 3, we're going to have an inventory 2, and we're going to have what? 5 at 25. Any questions?
Which one are those going to?
So what?
Like for the inventory, is the first one for the first one?
The first one, you didn't have in inventory. You sold,
Oh, because we sold all of them.
and the
Oh,
next
okay.
one, you sold 8, so you had 2 left in inventory. Then we just sold 3,
Oh, okay.
so therefore,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had 7 left, 2 at 25 at 25. Okay, I got 2 scenarios I want you all to work on. Take about 10 or 15 minutes. We're purchasing now 5 at 20, 5 at 25, and 5 at 30. Go through the scenario, tell me what the gross profit is if in the first situation we sell 7, then in the next situation we sell 12. Can we handle that? Good. So take about 10 or 15 minutes using the same format, first in, first out, and tell me what the gross profit is if you sold in the first case 7, second case 12, and then tell me what you got left in inventory. Any question on what I want you to do?
No.
Okay, so let's go ahead and complete that. Jessica, you okay?
I'm good.